Hey, if you're seeing this, then you're watching my old channel. I've started a new channel. If you enjoy the type of video you're about to see in a few seconds, then come on over, click on the card in the upper right and subscribe. See you there. Hey, welcome to this Twilight Struggle gameplay video. If you lived through the Cold War, or if you just find it a fascinating subject, then don't miss a minute of what's coming up. Well, hey, welcome. We're going to try something completely different today. Do some Twilight Struggle. Now, I'll tell you guys straight up front, I'm not very good at this. I'm not even sure I totally understand it, but I've been poking at it and then walked away from it for a few weeks, and I kind of got an itch to get back into it. So what the heck? Let's go ahead and do a video or two with it. Probably do make these pretty quick, pretty short. One, two, three turns maybe for a video. That ought to be enough, I think. It is nice that it's windowed. That means I can reach over here and control my other settings in the other monitor. I can even read the manual for this thing because of this nice windowed environment. So let's go ahead and get going. Now, for those who don't know what this is, reading straight from the manual, Twilight Struggle is a two-player game simulating the 45-year dance of intrigue, prestige, and occasional flares of warfare between the Soviet Union and the United States. So for those of us old enough to have lived through that, that makes perfect sense. And if there does happen to be some folks here, well, like my son, who was born, my oldest, born 1 year before the end of the Cold War. Uh, he's an educated man. He knows about it, but he didn't live through any of it. And so, for those of you in that position, this ought to be an interesting thing. Anyway, so we're going to go ahead and get started here in a moment. But before we do, please consider subscribing, hitting that bell notification, sharing with friends, and especially here, especially if you know anything about this game, leave me a comment. Tell me what what I need to do, where I'm going wrong. I would really appreciate it. All right, so we're going to go ahead and say play offline. They got some old games, don't care. We'll play as the US against the AI. Click here to adjust profile. Oh, I've got avatar selections. Don't care. Let's get on back and let's get started. All right, well, we get dealt a hand of cards. Now, the thing to understand about these cards, and I'm going to try to cover this briefly, is that they come in like three flavors. There's a card that is a Soviet Union event. It's worth two operations, but if as the NATO player I play this card for its operations or however I want to use it, then this event occurs. This is a NATO card. I could either play it for the three operations or I can play it for the event. This is a card that doesn't care. It's good for both sides, and it's very useful as an event, which is kind of cool. We'll get into that. Um, this is a scoring card. This has to be played, and so we know in this round at least we are going to have to play Middle East scoring before this turn is over. So that's going to be an interesting focus for the game. Uh, We've got the space race, which is a good place to ditch cards and get more fun stuff happening because of it. Um, but there are advantages to making this through this. But the biggest thing I've ever seen is it's a good place to throw cards that you don't want to play. Um, Military ops. Every turn you have a certain number of military ops required. Um, and then we have the DEFCON status. So we're at peace, there's no restrictions, but as the DEFCON rises, or defense condition, I should say, then no coups or realignment attempts in Europe, then in Asia, then in the Middle East. And if it goes to DEFCON 1, well, the world blows up. The interesting thing about that is, in this game, nuclear war doesn't end with everybody losing. Nuclear war means that the person who caused it loses. And there's some fine points to that. So there are cards in here that you can play that your opponent gets to make decisions and can change the DEFCON, but whoever controlled the card is blamed. So you got to watch yourself. I can't remember the name of the card right offhand, but you got to watch yourself. You play a card, and next thing you know, your opponent is just happy as he can be because it's DEFCON 2. He can do whatever he feels, do what he does, cause a nuclear war, and you lose. So we are currently in the opening phase where we get to place some influence. He'll place influence in Eastern Europe, and I'll place influence in Europe. We have 7 to place. Well, we want to have 4 in Germany. Now that means, if you look, let me zoom in here. This is number in upper right-hand corner is the stability number. When your influence matches the stability number, then you control that country. And if you take a look, you also see that some of these countries, like West Germany, East Germany, Poland, France, Italy, are red. They're battleground countries. That's where the real struggle is in this game. I'm not going to be very good at explaining this, I'm afraid. I bet you I screw this up. We need to get control of Italy, although, honestly, the way things break here, he's just as likely to cause or go for a coup in Italy early while the DEFCON level is low, and that'll be just damned awkward. I've always going back and forth between a decision whether to go with 3 there or 2. So I have 1 more influence. I could put 1 in Greece. So you see these connections between the areas. If you don't have influence next to somebody, you can't place influence. So there's an advantage to, say, having influence in Turkey, because now you can place influence later in the game as it progresses into Lebanon or Syria. Or let's get West Germany locked down. But that, I'm off. This is really it's kind of complex, but it's kind of simple. But there's a lot of things to think about, and so I'm not doing a particularly good job talking about it, I'm afraid. I got 1 left to place, and I'm tempted to go into France or just go 3 into Italy and dare him to coup there. Which, if he's got a hot enough ops card, like this is a beautiful card right here, he may do it, because if he can take Italy, that'll just turn into a mess in Europe. And there probably are a dozen standard opening plays. People at this that are probably tournament level players that know everything about it. But me, I'm just struggling to figure it out. So let's go ahead and simplify life and just lock Italy down. Now we go. We're in the early war. We should do the headline phase now. Now we select an event to headline, and that's interesting. That's not a very good event for much of anything. And once this is played as an event, it goes away because it has an asterisk. Anything with an asterisk gets played once and goes away. Is discarded. It's removed from the game. Ends up there. Discarded gets rolled back into the deck later. I don't see any. Yeah, here's one that is underlined, and that means it stays in play until, in this case, canceled after the U.S. use of the China card. But an underlined event basically goes up here and it stays in play. It has an ongoing effect. In case of the Formosa Resolution, Taiwan shall be treated as a battleground country. Okay. UN intervention is a great card because it lets you use nasty cards like this without causing the event to happen. 5-year plan. Randomly discard one card. That's kind of nice. Red Scare, Red Purge is nice, but it's also a 4. But if I were to headline it, all further operations played by your opponent this turn are -1 to their value, which is pretty strong. That takes a 4 out of my hand. But really, this is not a bad hand. I've got one nasty card. I've got another 2 very good cards. This is an excellent card. This card cancels that card, basically. So there's just nothing bad happening here for me in this hand. So I could... See, this game's like this. So you're always trying to make a decision on what's the least worst thing you can do. I could play this to screw the Soviets for this round. Or I could just play this, advance my space race box, and take that thing out of the game and use this for influence, like in the Middle East, where things are going to be happening. And I think I'm going to do that. So let's headline Captured Nazi Scientists. Now he's going to headline Early War, which means he gets to play some cool influence, auto success. So we've got to start on the space race. Now he needs 5 mil-op points, and he will probably coup immediately somewhere. And I'd be surprised if it's not Italy. We'll see. He's thinking about it. He may have a scoring card in his hand, and the way he plays may indicate that to us. He's deciding. NATO, coup, here it comes. Ooh! Wow, he went for Iran. That sucks. Okay, I need 4 mil-ops. Now, the Middle East is straight up. It just got hot. So we take a look at this, and no coups in Europe. So I need to pull a coup, like now, to shove this thing up where there are no more coups, at least no coups in Asia. Now, I don't know. I've got some very good cards. What if I use this as a coup attempt in Iran? I would have a 50-50 chance. Well, I have a 1 in 3 chance of taking control. A 5 out of 6 chance to break his control. And I would get 4 mil-ops, which means I would no longer have to... I would need no more of those for the game. And that would put us where he would have the next shot for a coup in the Middle East. Right? Because then we would have no coups in Asia at DEFCON 3 and no coups in the Middle East at DEFCON 2. The bad part about this is if let's just play an example here. Let's get it back. Okay, Red Scare, Red Purge. Let's say we just want to place influence. I can't put influence here. I could go to Jordan. I could go to Israel, which is probably not smart because there are events that screw all this up. I could go to Egypt, which is kind of cool. But at the same time, guess what? There's a Nasser event that comes along and wipes that out. So you just investing in Egypt is not wise. Wow. And right now you can see scoring here, which we have to play, is bad against us. He gets 4, we get 0. So we got to go play. There's just no way around it. All right, we're going to go ahead and we're going to attempt a coup in Iran. Aha! Now watch him come back and do the same thing. It's up for grabs. Nobody controls it. And DEFCON 3, he can do it again since it's in the Middle East. Influence with the China card. Ugh, yuck. He just said, you know what, the heck with you in Europe. Oh boy, France, that's ugly. That's ugly. And it's just a high. Here's the other thing that's a pain. Whoa. I can place influence in France now, but it'll cost me 2 operations for every one now that he controls it. That means it would take 7 operations to uh, control France. So yeah, he just really put the big kahuna on me, and he's set up so that if I take control of Iran, he can still play a coup there. Yeah, it's a mess. Like I said, I think I said something about not being particularly good at this. So we have 2 really good cards here. We could grab Iran with 1, and then we could step off into Asia and say take Pakistan to get us a route in, or we could, since we have control of Australia, we could go to Malaysia to start working Southeast Asia. But that play in Europe, and right now I can't play realignments here because the DEFCON is too high. The realignments only reduce influence, so they're useful against places like Greece or France right now because they're controlled, and I don't have any influence there. And the worst case that happens is that nothing happens, but I won't lose influence. If both players have influence there, you're likely to lose influence too. It'd be a great thing to realign, but right now he has just banged me between the eyes, and he is dominating Europe. Yay! All right, let's look at something here. Middle East is currently awash. We could actually play Middle East scoring now, get it off the table, and start fighting over Europe because he may have Europe scoring, and the way he's playing is making me think he might. Um, Gonna be hard to do without realignment rolls. Gonna be real hard to do. We have to burn piles and piles of influence to take back France, and he may just lay into us. Um, but just playing Middle East scoring now, I don't know. Maybe it's not a bad idea. Let's get it done. I still have a point advantage of 2, and now the fight for Europe begins. I say that. Watch him make a move on Asia. Yeah, I got a bad feeling he's got Europe scoring happening, and that just could be bad. Opponent event. All right, that was independent Reds. And let's see what that's. Add sufficient U.S. influence in either Yugoslavia, Romania, or Bulgaria, Hungary equal to. So, and we got to get out of here. So, we got 1 influence in Yugoslavia. Woo. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Back to my hand. Five-year plan, discard 1 card, da 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 da. I'm trying to decide whether I want to play. Oh, that's just not a lot of help. Whew. France going down like that was devastating. Um, but we can play into it. Let's pop an influence in there. That's all we'll be able to afford to put in there right now. And Maybe not. I'm not sure I want to see another coup in the Middle East. Um, place influence, one there. And let's start thinking about Asia since we will have the China card next round. China card's kind of cool. You play it and it goes to the other guy face down, and then you get it the next round. Just drop one in Pakistan and go. And what's he going to do? He's probably going to defend France. What do you think? I don't think I've got enough influence to. I can break his control of France. Oh, Vietnam revolts. Yeah, he's defending France. Nice. Nice. You schmuck. Okay. Place influence. Let's break his control there again. And that keeps us even in Europe. And off we go. He's got the Europe. He has got the Europe uh, scoring card. That's why he's wanting to dominate Europe and really tear me up in this early round. Here comes. Yep, he's defending Europe and contesting, or excuse me, defending France and contesting Pakistan. Um, isn't this a pain? Place influence. We're going to contest France and Pakistan. And he's defending France. He has got that card. He has got it. Okay, here we go. We are going to play the event, which simultaneously with the card associated with your. You know what? Let's take a look at this. Right now, if we have the Arab-Israeli War, basically at this point, it'd be a 50-50 shot that he'd take Israel. Right, we want to go ahead, play that event, which makes this event canceled, but we can still use its operations. So let's play the event. Let's place influence. See if we can contest France. He probably has what it takes to screw me up there. Oh no. Okay, end of turn 3. He did not have the Europe scoring. I am amazed. All right, here we go. DEFCON has dropped to 4. We'll go to headline phase. Oh, it's a beautiful hand. I don't see any red. Wow. Wow. We got the China card. We don't know what he has. I wish I had the CIA. Truman Doctrine. We're always controlled Europe. Okay, Truman used all USSR influence in one uncontrolled country in Europe. Well, guess what's an uncontrolled country in Europe? France is uncontrolled. So we are going to headline the Truman Doctrine. And he headlined scoring. That's interesting. And what are we waiting for here? Have I missed something? Headline phase. Oh, it's okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. Wake up. I get to do this. Click. See ya. And oh, that worked out beautifully, even though I kind of went brain dead there for a moment trying to think my way through it. So we got 7 points for domination, 3 points for battleground states for a total of 10. He had 3 points for presence, 2 for battleground states of 5. We net out +5. And that was an awesome opening. That Truman Truman Doctrine pulled our fat out of the fire. Now, Middle East scoring and Europe scoring have been played, which tells me Asia scoring is on the way. So we're going to have to go get bloody serious about Asia. Meanwhile, Truman Doctrine, Independent Reds de Gaulle leads France, is removed. Thank you. I don't remember seeing that, but I'll take that. Um, and NATO's okay, cool, cool. All right, we've got a handful of killer cards here. I mean, we've got one, two, three, four fours, and the China card, which basically counts as 5 in Asia. Plus one operation with all points are used in Asia. Wow. Um, Now DEF CON is at 4, which means no alignment rolls in. So, since we think we're going to be fighting over Asia, we need to go ahead and we've got military. Oh, excuse me, that's not right. We're going to have at least 4 military options required. We need to get that out of the way, and that will keep him from being able to play those coups in Asia. We need to get this right. We need to get DEF CON to 3. We need to get DEF CON to 3, like in short order. So, oh, the Marshall Plan. Lord, I'd love to play that as an event. Nuclear test ban. Now here's the card. One of the cards I was talking about. Players earn victory points equal to current DEF CON level -2 that improves DEF CON by 2 levels. So that runs the DEF CON down. There's another that runs the DEF CON up. And by up, I mean toward nuclear war. But we are going to use nuclear test ban, or that's a really good one. That's a really good one to be played as an event. I don't know. As I think about it, since it goes away, well, actually, it sits over here and says, "Aha! USSR made a coup or realignment." That's the main advantage. I can play that card for influence, take control of Japan, but he'd still be able to do realignments. If you play as an event, Japan is yours, and he cannot coup or realign. And so that's a real powerful one that we don't want to burn. Yeah, I think if we're going to do a coup attempt somewhere right now, we need to do it with a nuclear test ban. So let's go ahead and, oh no, yeah, that was stupid. Okay, get that back in here. I undid. I didn't commit. Right, I did not commit. Let's commit that decision. Now he gets to make a call. See what he does. Too much talking, not enough playing. I got all lost in the sequence. All right. Ooh. He played decolonization, one USSR influence each of any 4 African or Southeast Asian countries. So he grabbed Thailand, or he didn't grab it, but he threw something in there, and he's beginning to work Africa. Okay. Mm-mm-mm. What if we try a coup attempt? Now, a coup attempt there is a beautiful thing. 1 in 3 chance it reduces his influence. Is that true? 1 in 3 chance. Yeah, it reduces his influence to 1 or gets rid of it completely. 4 out of 6 that we take control. It gets us 4 operations, and it means Asia, no more coups in Asia. So let's go ahead and give it a shot. Yeah. All right. Now DEF CON's gone to 3. He still has to do some mill ops, but he's not going to be able to play him in Asia. I guess he could go after. No, nope. He's. It's gonna be interesting to see what he does to get his. He's got to go to the Middle East, or can he? Um, Opponent event. Oh, he's playing. He played NORAD for influence.
Our efforts are made in the belief that men and nations
Now, what
can
does NORAD do?
cooperate
If I get on it,
and that there are
U.S.
no
controls
international
Canada.
problems which
The
men
U.S. may
of
have one influence to
goodwill
any country
cannot
already
solve or
containing
adjust.
U.S. influence at the conclusion of any action round which has DEFCON marker, in which the DEFCON marker moves to the 2 box. That's kind of cool. That makes me want to control Canada. That will cost me 2 influence, but that makes me want to control Canada in a big way. Marshall Plan. Yeah. Yeah, Marshall Plan could make that easier. Um, right now, he's advantaged in Asia, and I expect him to be playing strong there, but we're going to keep that in mind. We're going to want to jump back over here. It may be time to play as an event U.S. Mutual Defense Pact with Japan. One, it'll just give us all we need to. Thank you, computer. I had a video encoding in the background. I guess it's done. That would give us. It'd have to go. It'd have to add a lot of influence there, and we'd take Japan, which is part of Asia, which would be cool. And 4, if I use this to do it, 4 wouldn't do it. 4 would just get me to 5. That would not be 4 more. So, I mean, this is pretty easy. We're going to play this event and snatch Japan. And that should have balanced. Yep, that balanced out Asia. Outstanding. Okay, he's going to decide a coup. Ooh, a coup in Panama, but he failed. But he got 2 mil ops, and the DEFCON status went to 2, which means we're all out of coups and realignments. But that's okay. I got my mil ops early. Happy days. Really, this has been a good game for me so far. This has been ridiculously good, in fact. Um, we're 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 dancing around Asia right now. Uh, Now, Asia and Southeast Asia are separate things, sorta. I think it counts for Asia scoring, but there is a separate Southeast Asia that only counts for Southeast Asia. Okay, so that's interesting. We're back to very much wanting to hold Canada, which is not going to be hard to do. We're going to play the Marshall Plan as an event before it's all said and done, probably. And that'll allow me to slap all kinds of influence all throughout Europe. Right now, we want to continue threatening in Asia, and I think we need to play for India. All for the use to have 1. Oh, that's a nice. That's actually. If I play that as an event, it would get me 1, 2, 3, which is what it's worth. That should have been played earlier to make it. Yeah, there's no point in doing that right now. Um, and not only that, I'd love for him to get that card. So if we use that to place influence, we can take India. He can't coup it away. Not even next round, because unless a card is played to reduce that DEFCON. So that puts us pretty slick in Asia. Let's go. Watch the machine show me things I don't understand. Beat me like a red-headed stepchild. I'm dancing around wanting to play over here, but wanting to head him off here at the same time. He space raced that and failed. He didn't want to. He did not want to play that. Degrade DEFCON 1 level, and that would have been bad. Degrading DEFCON 1 level would have been the end of the game, and I would have won. So he wasn't going to play that for influence because that would have ended the game in my favor. Remember, if the card you play allows the other guy, or anyway, in any way causes the DEFCON level to go to 1, it's over. So he tried to get rid of it, and he did, but he did not succeed in space racing, which just broke my heart, quite honestly. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can stand it. Now I'm tempted to go for Taiwan. She's not a battleground state, but holding Taiwan and Japan when the Korean War event comes along could be cool. Or battleground states in Asia, battleground countries in Asia. Right now, all that's left is Korea. So we could throw 3 into Korea. We can do that later. Let's look at some events. If UK is controlled by US, if UK is US control but NATO is not affected, has 1 influence, any country. Okay, da 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 da. Yeah, I don't care. Marshall Plan's an event I want to play. Defectors. That's a good headline. Playing a headline phase of cancel USSR headline. That's cool. Um, that's good for influence. Olympic Games. Now here's the one that I could lose the war with. If I were to play this as an event, the opponent then has a chance to participate, and it's likely I'll win, and I get victory points. Yay! He could boycott. The DEFCON level would degrade, and boom, war will end in nuclear war. And since I played the card, I lose. So we won't be playing that event. No, 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 no. We're going to play Marshall Plan as an event, which will mean it'll go away, it'll stay in effect, and we get to do an influence in Canada, influence in Turkey. This is gonna this is pretty cool. Uh, we could even go to Finland, Austria. I got 3 more influence to play. UK, Turkey. He's got Greece. That's a pain. Yeah, I think we get in here in these battleground states and just lock them up with the Marshall Plan and call it good. I'm not sure that was a great idea, but that's what I'm going to do. I've done it, in fact. I still got the China card, waiting for his reaction in China or in Asia. Playing for influence. Up, he broke it in Japan. He can do that. He just can't coup, and he's going for North Korea. Okay, I'm all right with that. I've got the China card, and I'm going to play that before it's all said and done, and stink up the world over there. Right now, I'm going to be a little more subtle. Uh, We're going to play early war card, special relationship, 4 influence. We're going to grab Iran. And we're going to... Ooh, you know what I really ought to do? I don't have a 3, but a 2 will do. Right. Place influence. Let's snatch South Africa. He's making a move for Africa, and we're going to need a base there. Now, it should be too dangerous for coups anywhere, I think. I could be wrong. Let's commit to that, see what happens. Indo-Pakistani War is an event. He succeeded and rolled India. Oh, that was brilliant. And that turned Asia for him. Oh, yeah. Wow. And I can't coup that. I can break it, and I will. But, boy, that was a good play. Let's go look at that card. Is that removed? No, that's a discarded card. One opponent, he won even though he hit a 1 and 3. He hit a 1 and 3, and let's see, yeah, see 4 to 6. He should have had a +1 because I had Pakistan, and he still pulled it off. Well, that sucks. That's life in the Cold War. Okay, we will grab. I'm worried he's going to play that Asia scoring card. I can't fart around in other places right now. I think it's time to play the China card for influence. Let's grab that. Let's break that. I can play 2 more influence. Looks like we'll be lucky to break even. I could make this very hard for him. He would have, if I played 2 more there, he would have to play 3 there to take control. So we're going to show him just how serious we are about Asia. And he did not play the card. Well, I am flabbergasted. DEFCON's gone to 3. Reshuffle. And a headline phase. And that, I think, will be that for this video. We will continue next time. Hey, thanks for watching. And please, those of you who know what you're doing in this game, scorch me. I'd love to know. Hey, thanks for watching. If you click on that picture of Very Young Waz, you'll be subscribed so you'll never miss another video. Then click on that bell notification button and please share and comment. See you again soon.